Okay, everybody, want to do a quick little training video to kind of show in regards to company inspections what we look like now. So we're trying to get this turned back on live after this training. Once you guys feel comfortable with it, you'll be able to kind of go out and get going again. So this video is just kind of walk you through. There's not a ton of changes, but there's some new things, kind of a new layout, and I want to walk you through why some of that is going on. A lot of this is driven from the FMO side to make sure that we are able to track address information correctly across us, FMO, and tie it all together. So with that being said, obviously here's the front page. I am actually going to show this to you just like I am a firefighter EMT. So you have the same view. And you'll see here we have some new areas. We don't have the address and pre-fire or inspection and pre-fire database anymore. We actually have an address database. The inspections that we do from the fire side are the company inspections. There's an FMO inspection, which you can't see here, but you still have access to, and then pre-fires. We're not going to talk about pre-fires in this video because Chris Olson and Neil Young are still working on getting this rolled out, but there will be assigned pre-fires per shift, and it will have some kind of mapping which breaks this down by shift. So it will look different than this. But the pre-fires will be loaded in here. You'll be able to pull it up on the iPad, make changes, save it, and then they'll update it and reload it back into Station Journal so we can update it down the road and also have visibility to it. So that's some good growth going there. So for company inspections, we'll talk about a few things. Mapping wise, one change that you can see here is that there's no longer a Station 14 and Station 15. There will be one map. So really didn't make sense how it was before anyway, so it's not a big deal. The other thing you'll see, so these are coming from FMO is actually going to be assigning these yearly. So you'll see more popping up as they're going through and scrubbing their database of what needs to be looked at. And Fire Marshal Gates and FMO will be getting these assigned to this year. So you'll see a couple changes. One thing you can see here is there is a button directly on the map pin, so that way whenever you decide to hit it, you'll hit that button and you'll be in the inspection, and we'll go through that here in a second. But everything, before we go down that path, everything is tied back to this new address database. So I want to go in it and just kind of show you a few things before we kicked off company inspection. And then once we get into the company inspection, you'll see it's pretty much exactly the same as it used to be. So in the address database, if it will come up, there we go. You'll see quite a different view than what you've seen in the past. And what this is, just to walk you through it, is obviously we have the addressing. If you click on the address, it will bring up a little map so you can review it that way, so you don't have to go into the file. Business name, but everything we're trying to do, these business names we all know change, and the addresses usually do not. So a lot of this data was a pull from Tigris and a validation from Tigris. But what you'll see here is every address has company inspections that you can add. This is another place you can do it from if it's due this year. You can see all of the company inspections that were ever done for that address. When FMO gets a file, if we have a follow-up or if they're doing their side of things, they work through here, but we still have the visibility by clicking here. So actually we'll go down to this one here, and you can see when we click on the number of FMO inspections, it'll actually take us to those. So we can kind of see what all has been going on out there. So a little bit of system view information, and we're going to put a little bit more detail in here as to what is going on. So, you know, subject trouble signals, fire and alarm. So a lot of things that you won't be dealing with, but just good to know that it's there. So just wanted to show that to you. If there is an active, fire watch going on, this will turn to the number 1 and turn red, just as a visual here. And obviously it comes up on the home screen, the home dashboard at the top. If you want to go back and see a history of fire watches, you can click here, and that'll show you all the fire watches ever completed for that address. If you need to add a fire watch, FMO does that there. We can also do that. And when we get into pre-fire stuff, this is where we will go in. You can actually view the pre-fire here, or we can go in and look at pre-fires attached to that address. So as Chris and Neil start rolling it out, we'll have another training session on this, but you'll see here that they're actually putting the PDFs in here, so that way we can pull it up on the iPad, review it, actually make some changes and save it and send it to them, and then they will re-update it and reload it here for the next cycle, which will be a couple of years down the road, so we can keep this rotated and active. So, but again, all this is tied back to the address. So that's just kind of, that was the big piece of work that had to happen. We had to get TGRS information in for the address database so we could get all this stuff aligned. And there's also another area that's FMO files, which I didn't leave here because you guys don't really need to see that. If you need to see a specific file, you can go here. And as you're looking here, you'll see company inspections. This one has, it has an inspection year this year. But if you look here, this number of company inspections, you can pull it up and you can actually see if that was done this year. This would not be where I find out what it is that you're doing your inspections on, unless there's a 0 there and it says 2016. So in here, you can see like this one was done back in 2015. So it would still need one done this year. So not a little bit more, maybe that's something I can clean up as we go and put in a better field there that only shows ones due for this year and then one that shows all. But if it has an inspection year of 2016 and then a 0 here, then you know that that one is still due. If it has a number there, you're gonna have to verify it this way. So I wouldn't spend a lot of time trying to find out what's due for the addressing or for the company inspections from here, unless you go into reports and charts. This company inspection is due once there is a date from if this says 2016 and then a date, inspection date completed is, or inspection date conducted is 2016, then it will remove it from here. So this is your best bet for finding the company inspections that have not been touched yet. So I would work out off the mapping unless you're savvy at going through the actual database. So let's go through and let's walk through this real quick, and you'll see that not a lot has changed. There are some new things, some improvements. We'll walk through one and kind of show how it all works. So again, we have the company inspection. So what I'm going to do is Knights of Columbus, I want to do this building. I'm going to click add company inspection. When I come into this add company inspection, you'll notice a few things that are a little different. We're actually pulling data from the database now. So this information is a combination of TGRS and FMO, but we'll have some information here in regards to whatever information we already have. So if you're having trouble finding someone out in the field for contact info, this is maybe something you could verify. You could give this number a call. So this is existing data that's out there. If there are fire sprinklers and things like that, that will all pull over as well. So some good information here. In this instance, we have a primary phone. We don't have an email. So it's going to be important to get that information updated. You want to go about it just like you did. If Mike Micklig is still the contact, put it here. Make sure the phone information is correct. Put it there, and then contact email obviously is going to be pretty important for this one. So this is just to help have some kind of information to go on. In this area, this is going to, if we hit a pre-fire exists, we can go to the book to verify the pre-fire. If updates are needed, if that's selected, then Chris and Neil will get a notification. If pre-fire does not exist but is recommended, then Chris and Neil will get updated there as well. Okay. Again, everything else is the same through here. There are no changes how this information populates in regards to how it looked before. You'll see that the cascading boxes pop up. That all looks the same. So this is the big area that's a little different. This information cannot be changed. That's all address information, and FMO controls that. Everything else down here, you'll notice, is exactly the same. So you go through your process. You got to make sure you follow up. Fire marshal follow-up needed, yes or no. That will be mandatory. And then if there are pictures you want to put and notes for them to see, that's all the same. So you go in, you hit save, and then when you do that, it will disappear from the map and then end up on the completion. So because we're still selecting station 14 and 15, the reporting, the graphing will still track that by station, so we can keep those counts the same. It's just the mapping. We don't have the mapping split up. So if we complete one here this month, the April will pop up and we'll have a 1 there for whatever shift that was. Same for re-inspects. All this stuff will work the same. So again, not a ton of changes. You may run into some things that you have questions on. If you do, please let me know. Other than that, it's pretty much as it was before. There will be some things going on the backside with FMO that may keep you aware of, but other than that, these are the ones that are due. You can get to this address, this map here on the main page, or if you're under the address database, you can get to it by hitting reports and charts. 2016 company inspections due. And then you're back to the same map so you can complete it. Go in, find your address, hit add company inspection, and then you're off and running. So pretty easy changes, but want to give you a little background on how all this is going to tie together. We should have something new to you out for the pre-fires portion. I know Chris has been working with a couple shifts. If you need to go back in and look at company inspections that were done, if you want to make sure that you did one, you can come in here and search just as you had in the past. So you can verify that you got it tracked properly. You can see inspector notes and all that good stuff there. So hope this helps get things deployed. It is up and running and active and ready to go. So feel free to kick it back off and get the inspections going for this April. So if you have any questions, send me an email, send me a call, and I'll get it cleared up for you. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.